everyone. It's Kayla with the Celebration Company. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a really great weekend. I'm glad to see you all today. We are doing something really fun today. Y'all love it when I do things like this. We are making an elf, and this has been asked for a while. We're going to use our 27-inch doll form, and we're going to make an elf out of it today. I have got all kinds of different things sitting out over here to use to make a really cute elf. So this is going to be lots of fun. This is day 20 of our Christmas in July. This is the last week. We only have 4 more days of Christmas in July, including today. We are almost complete with our Christmas in July. Also, our snowman challenge is ending very soon. So you have until Thursday to get your snowman submitted. All right. So the Shop Your Stash Snowman Challenge is coming to an end. You have until Thursday to submit your photos. So in order to do that, you're going to take a picture of your snowman that you created using items that you already have in your stash, post it to your Facebook, and then you're going to tag the Celebration Company in that post by typing @TheCelebrationCO. Make sure you click on the Celebration Company when it pops up. And then you also want to edit the privacy settings of that post to public so that I'm able to see your post. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And we're going to be giving away a $200 Hobby Lobby gift card. Okay, a $200 Hobby Lobby gift card to the winner. We'll be picking a winner on that Friday, okay, on the 1st, all right? So, it's coming to an end, y'all. We've had lots of amazing snowmen. I posted more snowmen this weekend, and I haven't looked to see if I had any more come through, but there are some really good ones, okay? So it's going to be lots of fun. I can't wait to see who the winner is. All right, y'all, let's see. Let me get this pulled up really quick. This is probably going to be a 2-day craft, so we're going to be working on this tomorrow as well. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it done today, just because this is one of those crafts that takes a little bit longer to do. All right, let me, though, I want to adjust y'all a little bit so you can see a little bit more of the space. I think that that's a little better. All right. So let's see who we've got joining me today. Hi, Dorothy. Hey, Allison. Hello, Pam. Hi, Danae. My Monday has been good. I hope yours has as well. Hi, Rhonda. Hey, Teresa. Hi, Jamie. Hello, Diane. Good afternoon. Hey, Carol. Hey, Donna. Thanks for sprinkling, Ruby. Aren't they awesome, Teresa? Hey, Gail. Hi, Jean from Texas. Hey, Jenny. It is hot here today, too, Jenny. Andrew was just telling me that the heat index is over 100 today. So it is very hot here as well. Hey, Joan. Hey, Lynn. Hi, Tammy. I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for joining us today. We are in the middle of our Christmas in July celebration. We've been doing this all month long. So today is the 20th day. It ends on Thursday, the last day of the month. And today we're going to be making an elf. Now, this 27-inch doll form's available on the website. It is already discounted, and then today and tomorrow, it's an additional 15% off. Okay, so over the next 2 days, you can grab this for an additional 15% off, all right? And that makes it, I believe, $15.99 or $16.99, something like that, for this doll form. It is a big one. This is a nice and long, it's 27 inches, okay? I bet it is, Gina. I bet it is. It's hot for here. I know that much. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, let's get into our elf and see what we want to do. The first thing that I know we need to do is paint it just a little bit. So I'm gonna set all my stuff aside. I've got all kinds of different things here. I'll show you all those here in a few minutes. But we're definitely doing a red and green elf. Set all this stuff aside. I'm gonna pull out my natural buff, and we're going to use this for the face and for the hands, okay, to give it a skin-like coloring. All right, so we're just going to do the face and the hands. Yay, Danae. I'm glad you liked it, Danae. She said she made my cabbage soup recipe and it was delicious. All right, I'm assuming I'm gonna need a lot of paint because fabric, you know, it's just gonna soak it up. So we're just gonna go right in and just paint the face with this color. Natural Buff, this is available on the website. And I'm just coming down a little bit here just to make sure none of the white shows. And it will have a hat on, so if some of the very top isn't painted, I am not too worried about that. Gina, we've actually painted this before. When we did our gingerbread man that we made last year, we painted it, and it actually worked really well. All right, so let's flip it over, get the back side. I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna do clothing, or I mean hair, or what on the back side. I haven't gotten that far, so I'm just gonna go on and paint it just in case it needs to be painted, because I definitely don't want it to, I don't know, like I don't know, is it gonna be a bald elf or what? Or am I not gonna put hair back here and just leave it? I don't know yet. So we'll see how it goes. All right, then we're gonna paint also the hands as well. So I'm just gonna get just like 2.5 inches or so, 3 inches, something like that, here on the ends. Yeah, this is a perfect flesh color. It's also just a really beautiful sort of pinky color as well. Okay. Let's go. Let's get this side. Ruby, what are you hearing? I hear two of me. I hear two of you talking. You might hear Andrew and Griffin upstairs. Yes, Mary, we are. They are available on the website, and they are an additional 15% off today. Yes, Pam, we are selling these. Let me grab the link for you really quick. All right, here you go. So it's already discounted. to $19.99, and it's an additional 15% off today. That discount is applied in your cart. Is anyone else hearing something weird coming through? 15% off today. That discount is applied. It sounds normal to me. So yeah, I think maybe Ruby, you might need to refresh, go out, come back in, and start over. Okay, so let's dry this. See a thick spot there. All right, let's dry this down. And you could use fabric paint or something like that if you have it, but if you don't have it, this works just fine. It's going to leave a little bit of a different texture. You can come back and sand it, and that usually makes it sound a little, or feel a little softer if you sand it. I don't know what's going on, y'all. It sounds fine to me. I listened to it and it's fine. So I don't know what the problem is. There's nobody else down here. There is, my printers are going. All right, this edge here needs to be gotten a little bit better. I honestly don't know what to tell you all. Some of y'all are saying it's fine and some of y'all are saying it's not. So just don't really know. Like I said, you could be hearing my printers. Okay. All right, so there we go. That part's done. Let me clean this up just a little bit so we don't get the rest dirty. Hey, Teresa. Okay. All right. So now it's all about, for me, the next part about the dressing and what is our elf going to wear. So I'm going to show you some different things that I have, and then we'll talk about some different options. So one way that I think you can make it a little easier on you for something like this is to use baby clothes. So I have these pieces that I picked up at Goodwill last year sometime. I've got 3 different pieces. I have this set here. This is a 12-month outfit, and it's got like a little puppy dog, but the base of it is red and white stripes. And then I have this one here that's 0 to 3 months. You know what? I didn't get these at Goodwill. I got these at Raylana, at the Raylana sale. I love it, Gina. So this one here is 0 to 3 months, and it's got like snowflakes on it, and then it's got the red and white stripes on the sleeves and on the feet. And then I have this one, and it is 0 to 3 as well, and it's got this teddy bear on the front, and it's got the raglan sleeve, and it has red and white stripes and a red cuff. So we're going to be using these, but pieces of it. So you could just use something as just the whole base, and then just sort of decorate it up a little bit if you wanted to. But what I'm thinking is that we are going to, we're going to make different pieces using these as kind of these are going to help us. Okay. So the first thing I want to do, this one right here, the 12-month, it fits the doll form really well. And so I want to use this one as the sleeve and the legs. Okay, so we're going to go on, I think, and put this one on. And then we're going to use these other pieces to embellish a little bit, I think. So what I'm envisioning is if we have this piece here and it is on the legs, and then I'm thinking if we did some like little knickers type things, you know, like where they would just go down to like the knees. If we use this, and we could, I mean, we can do lots of different things. So it's trying to decide what's going to be the cutest and the easiest to execute with the supplies that I have. So that's the question. And then I thought about this one. Maybe we could make a vest out of this. It would even be cute to use the sleeves here to make, but that I don't think it's going to work as well. So I don't know. We can use this as a vest. I'm imagining cutting it kind of like this to make the vest. Does that make sense? And then possibly putting a collar on the top, a zigzag collar around the top is one option. Another option is we could do, and I'm talking through this, y'all, so I can decipher what I like the best. We could, instead of using this as the pant, we could use a piece of fabric, like say this one that's got the stripes, as kind of like a stocking. And so we would just basically wrap this around and it would just only go up a certain portion of it. And this would be like the stocking. And then we could do knickers. I keep calling it knickers. I don't know if that's the right way to call it, but we could do that, and we could do those out of this. So you would have this showing, and then you'd have the red and white stripes here, and we'll mess with this a little bit. And then we could do the vest. Okay, let's just start doing and see what happens. All right. I think I'm going to wrap the legs first in this one, in the red and white and green stripe. We're going to start there. So, and I want to wrap, let's see which way. Okay, this is the front. I want to make sure I got the front right. Okay. Christy, they are from a children's consignment sale called Raylana, and they were cheap. So you could do something from Goodwill, or you could find a cheap set at Walmart or something like that. All right, so I'm not super worried about, you know, how this does down here because we're going to be putting shoes on it, elf shoes, you know, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to cut about the size that I need. All right, and I'm going to cut a second piece the same size for the other side. Okay. And just having the children's pajamas, it just makes it a little easier, I think, to execute than having to, like, from scratch using fabric, make all of your pieces. All right, so I'm wrapping this around. I'm gonna flip this over so that I can have my seam in the back. And we're just gonna use some hot glue to glue this on. All right, and I'm gonna just fold this under. And I want this to be a little on the tight side because I want it to be like stockings. Okay, so there's the first one. Okay. Yes, we're gonna make him shoes as well. So everything that's white is going to be covered up. Okay, if it's not painted in that natural buff, then it is not going to show. Debbie, I'm so sorry to hear that. I love that, Tracy. Okay. I hope he's okay, Debbie, and I hope that he recovers fast. All right, so let's get some hot glue. Go. And then we'll just pull this around. And I'm just folding this back. Okay. All right, so there's the start, okay? Where we are right now. All right, now we need to use this part, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different, I think. All right, I'm gonna lay this on, and I'm gonna cut part of this off. So I'm gonna cut the pants off, essentially. All right. Christy, I'm so glad you're here, and I hope your mom's doing okay. Hopefully she's better. Chris, the doll form's available on our website. Let me post the link here again. And it's an additional 15% off today. All right, I'm going to cut these little ears off just because I don't want them to show whatever I'm gonna, because all this is gonna be covered up. So those might end up showing, you know, the outline of them. So we're gonna put the shirt on. Put the arms through the sleeves. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is glue this in place. I'm just pulling this down. And we might do something on the sleeve. Like we might do some fur or some fleece on the sleeve instead of leaving it just red. So I'll cover that up a little bit more because the sleeves aren't quite long enough for the doll. But I'm going to go on and glue it down so that it doesn't move around. Hey Betty, good afternoon. Okay. And then we'll glue the top down as well. And I'm just going to go just across like that. Flip it over. And I'm just going to kind of wrap this up between the legs. I'm sorry to hear that, Christy. That is going to be tough for sure. Prayers for y'all as you navigate all of that. Okay, so this is where we're at right now, all right? So it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. All right. So now I want to worry about what I'm calling the knickers. And what I want to do is gather this up a little bit. Around the top. So this is going to be, I wonder, no, that won't work. I think I'm gonna have to glue them on. So let's try it. Let's put them on. I think I'm actually putting them on. I don't know if I'm putting them on backwards or not, but the snaps I'm putting on towards the back. And they're actually going to go up to the knee. Okay, and then, so I want them to be a little loose, right? So the the stockings down here are tight, and then the pant is kind of loose. And what we're going to do is sort of gather this together and glue it. So I'm just going to take some hot glue, and I'm going to pinch this together. To give it that sort of gathered look is my goal. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. And then we'll flip it and do the same thing on the back. Thank you, Cindy. I'm glad you can see the end result. And you can see that it's going to be cute, even though right now, you know, it's questionable. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. Okay. Does that look like the bottom of an elf? Right? We're getting there. Okay. So this is going to become our vest. All right. So we got to cut this to make our vest. And I'm going to cut the legs off, but I'm going to cut them at an angle so the vest kind of angles down. So we're going to fold this in half. Let me button it. That way everything stays in place. Okay, and then fold this in half. Line everything up. All right, so then above the crotch and then down, we're going to cut it like that. So I think what I'm going to do is use a ruler and a fabric marker to make my line. That's not the fabric marker that I reached for. Okay. Mark that. See if that showed up. Okay. All right, so we're going to cut that out while this is folded so that we're getting both sides. Okay. Okay, so just like that. Then we're going to cut. No, I'm not going to cut it. We'll fake it. So we could cut it down the middle, and that way it's more like a vest, but I think we're just going to fake it, and we'll add a piece of trim and some buttons down the middle to make it look more vest-like. So then we need to do the sleeves. So we're going to cut the sleeves off just right on the seam. So I'm going to pull this apart and make a slit. And then I'm just going to follow this seam. all the way around. Thanks for celebrating, Christy. Okay. There we go. Okay, I see what happened now. I'm like, what happened there? So it was more like this. So we'll have to glue that back together. So before I cut the other side, I'm going to go ahead and glue it. That way it doesn't come apart. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and glue this down. Just glue that there. And then I'll just pull this back and glue that down. All right, so same thing. We're just going to cut this sleeve off. So I'm just coming in and just going all the way around. I'm actually starting to think about possibly doing something different. We'll see. I'm thinking about a jacket instead of a vest like this, making this into a jacket. All right. Okay. So bear with me. And all of this at the top is going to be covered up because we're going to do a collar around the top. So that's all going to be covered up. Let's put this on. Let's see what this looks like so far. Arm through the holes. You're welcome, Teresa. Okay, kind of like how that's a little tight and it's pulling the neck together a little bit. It's giving it a little bit more of a neck because it doesn't have much of one. Okay. All right, so here's where we're at right now. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. I feel like it needs more of a waist. I want to try something. I want to try just taking a piece of felt. I've got some red felt here. I'm just going to cut a long rectangle, kind of like a ribbon of felt. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to be big enough to wrap around the elf. So if I was to take this around like that and pull it tight, to create a little bit more of a waist for this elf. I don't think this felt is working because it's stretching, and I don't want that. Let me just grab a piece of ribbon. This is just like a sheer ribbon, so it's not going to show up because it's all going to be hidden anyway. So purpose really is just to cinch the waist in a bit. All right, so I'm going to glue this piece down. Then I'm going to take the other end. Nope. Pull it in to snatch that up a little bit. And then glue that down. It's even going to help those little knickers to become a little more gathered, which is what I want. Okay. All right. Now, he's got a little bit more of a waist there. Looks a little bit more realistic, don't y'all think? All right, we got to figure out the sleeves, though. I got to decide what I'm going to do about that. Because I don't want that rawness showing, which I do think we can cover it up with either some trims or we can use, but I was thinking, what if we did like could we do like a cap sleeve? But I don't think this is big enough because I was imagining something a little more gathered on the top, so it would have a little bit more puckering to it at the shoulder. Which is going to look a little bit better. So I don't think that's going to work. And either way, I'm still going to have that raw edge of the sleeve. So what if let's look at some trends. So I've got a couple of things. I've got some rickracks, several different types of rickrack. I've got some pom-poms, and I've got this red ribbon. The red ribbon is really pretty. I'm wondering what it would look like. No, I'm not feeling that. Okay, let's try the rickrack. Okay, the rickrack feels right to fix the edges. So let's do that. All right. So we'll take our rickrack and go around all the raw edges of the vest. And let's see, let me find some buttons here. See if we want to do the rickrack up the middle. Okay, I have some snowflakes that I could use for buttons. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Is that almost a little too, you know, a little too much? Should it be a little more? Here's a gold button, but I don't know if I have more. That's the only one I can find. Got these that are like ivory with gold. I don't love that. I don't have any red. No. Might be able to do 3 different red buttons. Let's see what I can find. Here's one. I could do peppermints. That's a good thought. Nothing else is jumping out at me in there. The red is kind of cute. I do sort of like the red buttons on there. But let's see what peppermints would look like. And we don't have to decide on this right now. It's not bad. All right, let's set those aside. I guess let's do the outside of the vest in rickrack, and then we'll decide on what the middle is going to be. Okay. So we're just going to go along the edge here. And if I start at the top, the collar is going to hide the seam. Bells on the shoes, yes. Still got to make the shoes though. We haven't gotten there yet. Okay. All right, so there we go. That side's covered. Okay, and like I said, all of this seaming up here is probably going to be covered because I'm going to do a zigzag collar. All right. Let's do this side. are making an elf today. And we're using our 27-inch doll form that's available on our website. The link's been posted there in the comments. And it's 15% off today, an additional 15% off. It was already discounted. The discount's applied in your cart. All right, last bit of rickrack. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's that. So now we're gonna do around the bottom here. And I'm gonna start on a side seam. So probably be easier to do not on the doll, but then I might tear it up trying to get it back on the doll. So we also have to make elf ears. So like I said, this is going to be a 2-day craft for sure. We will not get finished with this today. Peg, this trim's from Paper Mart. All right, so back up. So I want to, I think I'm going to cut that actually. And I think that'll make it easier for me to come back up. Oh, Peg, the body, that might be what you were asking, not the trim. The body came from our website. It's on thecelebrationcompany.com. It's the 27-inch doll form. I'll post the link again here in just a second. And it's an additional 15% off today, y'all. Hey, Chrissy. Okay. All right, and then back down. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. Vest is coming together. All right, so now we can take the rickrack and go right up the middle for the center of the vest. We could do something like this red ribbon down the center, which is kind of cool, and I kind of wish I had done that before I put my rickrack on. But then your red buttons really aren't going to stand out if you do that. We could do white ribbon, just a plain white ribbon down the center. I might like that. And then the red buttons. What do y'all think? I think I might like that the best. We never did glue these, I don't think, down. To where they're supposed to be. I'm going to do that. Just got a little hot glue in a place I'm not supposed to have hot glue. Try the white rickrack over the red ribbon. Okay, so there's the red ribbon and the white rickrack. Oh, that's fun. I feel like it might be a little too much. I don't know. What do y'all think? Here's just the plain white ribbon. That's kind of pretty because then you get that red sort of frill. I might like that. I like that, y'all. I'm going to peel this rickrack off down here at the bottom. Okay. I think I like the white with the, or the red with the plain white. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we're going to glue that on. Tell you what, I think I'm going to lay this on. This. And zigzag my glue. Okay, got a little too much glue there, so I'm just gonna leave that for a second to cool. All right, looks like y'all agree with me. Good, good, good. Okay, so then we're just gonna take and do a smaller zigzag down the red. And we'll glue the white right over top. Okay. There we go. Now, we need to cut that. So that it's the same. Glue that down. Okay, and then we'll do the white as well. All right, there we go. And so then we can put the rickrack back. Okay. What are y'all thinking? Is it starting to look like an elf at all? Okay. Let's add, I think I'm just going to add the fur, and then I think we'll stop and keep working tomorrow. So I have this furry sock we'll use for the for down here and for the sleeves. So I'm just going to cut this. And I don't know if this is going to work like that or if I need to do something else. I don't think that it's big enough, but it does work. So I'm going to cut it bigger. But let me flip this over the other way so it just naturally curls the other direction. And I just kind of want to cover up that red cuff there with the fur. Like that. And it's going to give them better delineation between the two spots, the two fabrics as well. All right, so let's glue that down. Okay, and then hopefully I can make the other side work. Okay, perfect. Oh, how cute. It's coming together. For sure. Don't you wish you were that flexible? I was at one time. I am not now. All right. Okay, that looks good. So there's the pants. When you look at it like that, it's starting to come together, don't you think? When you take away the head and it's starting to come together. Hey, Roberta. All right. So the arms, I might not be able to do. I think I have another one of these socks. That just barely works, and I don't think I have enough. This is not big enough. I think I have another one. Let me look and see if I can find one. That sort of stinks, doesn't it? I'm not seeing one. Okay, so darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Is there anything I could do to make that work? Really trying to think if I can make it work or not. I feel like it looks really good. We use 2 pieces. That's pretty close. Maybe this piece. All right, I think we're gonna have to make that work, okay? So let's glue this one on. Because I feel like it just looks really good. And if we don't use it, I don't think it's gonna look as good to have something that's different. So somehow I've got to just make it work. So I'm gonna actually, this seems a little too small, too big, I mean. I'm gonna cut this. I'm actually gonna remove some of it. Let's cover that part. Hey, Tina. Good to see you. And then I'm going to cut this and remove some of it as well. And we're just going to butt it right up against. Remove a little more. Pinch that together. And then I'm just going to go underneath and add some hot glue. All right. I think we did it. I think we pieced it together. I think it'll work. We used almost all of that sock. Okay. So there is where he's at. So we're going to do a hat. And I haven't decided yet what I'll use for the hat. I can either use this fabric that we used for the stockings. I might have enough of it. I don't have a lot. I may not have enough. It'll be close. I think I can make it work. So we'll probably use that for the hat. Okay, and then of course we have to do feet or shoes, and I'm going to use this red felt for the shoes, or I might do the green felt for the shoes. I think I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do a red collar all the way around here, and we're going to do a red zigzag on the shoes with the green as well. And we'll add something here, probably, or I might actually want to do red. I think that looks better. I think we'll do a red hat. And we've got to add elf ears, and then we still have to do a face. So still have quite a bit to do, but it's coming together. It's starting to look like an elf. I think it's going to be cute. So we'll We'll finish it tomorrow. So make sure y'all join me tomorrow for our live. I will be sending out a text message. So if you're not subscribed to our text list, you should be. Let me find that really quick. And I'll post the information for that here in the comment. Let me get to it. Hang on just a second. I never can remember what it is. All right. Okay, here we go. So there's the information to join our text list, and we will send a text when we go live. So you'll text the word on your phone, not in the comments. On your phone, you'll pull up your texting app and you'll put the number in 1-844-731-3357, and then you're going to send me the word join in that text, and that'll get you subscribed to our text list, and I will notify you when I go live. So tomorrow when I go live to finish this, you won't miss it. All right. So make sure you join me tomorrow. I'll see you guys soon. Grab your doll because they are an additional 15% off today. Y'all, we have already made a gingerbread man out of these. And I'm trying to remember if we did something else, but you could do a gingerbread, you could do a Santa, you can do an elf, you can do a snowman, you can do a witch, you can do a scarecrow. We did do a scarecrow out of one. So there's just a lot of things that you can do with this. So you want to make sure you grab one because they are a lot of fun to decorate. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.